Costa Rica has a way of pulling travelers in and never quite letting go, with its jungle-covered mountains, wild Pacific beaches, and that famous laid-back attitude the locals call pura vida. And while backpacking through the rainforest has its charm, sometimes what you really want is a plush bed, a swim-up bar, and someone else handling the details. That is exactly where the country's growing collection of all-inclusive resorts comes in. So sit back and get comfortable, because the next stretch of narration takes a close look at 8 of the most popular all-inclusive stays in Costa Rica, from family-friendly beach giants to intimate adults-only retreats tucked into the hills. The first stop on the tour is the Westin Reserva Conchal, an all-inclusive golf resort and spa perched along the Guanacaste coast in the northwest of the country. This place feels like it was designed for travelers who want their vacation to look like a postcard the moment they step outside. The architecture leans into open-air lobbies, tropical woods, and soft earth tones that blend into the surrounding forest and the powdery white sand of Playa Conchal just beyond the property. The vibe hits a sweet spot between polished and easygoing, so it works equally well for couples celebrating an anniversary and families juggling toddlers with pool floaties. Guests are usually the kind of people who want a real vacation, not a full-time itinerary, and the resort caters to that pace beautifully. The overall mood is refined without being stuffy, which is a difficult trick to pull off in the tropics. Rooms at the Westin are spacious and calming, dressed in creamy whites, soft blues, and warm woods, with the brand's famously plush beds that many guests admit are the real reason they book. Layouts range from garden view rooms perfect for a solo escape to expansive suites that easily fit a family of 4 with room to spare. Private balconies or terraces are standard, and higher categories overlook the forest canopy or the resort's massive freeform pool. Dining leans into variety, with multiple restaurants covering everything from beachside grilled seafood to Italian classics and international buffets that seem to reinvent themselves every night. There is a swim-up bar for that classic tropical fantasy, along with quieter lounges for a cocktail after dinner. The pool at the Westin is enormous, one of the largest in Central America, and it snakes through the property with plenty of shady palapas and loungers to claim. The beach is just a short shuttle away, and Playa Conchal is famous for its crushed shell sand that shimmers in the sun. The Reserva Conchal golf course is a huge draw for players, while the spa offers everything from deep tissue massages to yoga sessions on breezy terraces. Kids get their own club with plenty of games and pool time, and the resort adds excursions like sailing trips, zipline outings, and horseback riding along the coast. It is a strong pick for travelers who want a little bit of everything without ever needing to leave the property. Moving down the Guanacaste coast, the Dreams Las Mareas resort makes a strong impression the moment guests roll up the palm-lined driveway. Set on the wide crescent of Playa El Jobo, it is a family-friendly all-inclusive that also does a surprisingly good job of pampering couples who want a slice of peace. The architecture is contemporary, with clean lines, big glass windows, and tropical gardens that thread between the buildings. It draws a lively international crowd, especially during winter months when Canadians and Americans flock in for guaranteed sunshine. Music, laughter, and the smell of grilled food drift through the air most afternoons, giving the resort a warm, social energy without ever feeling chaotic. The rooms are modern and generously sized, with balconies or terraces that catch either ocean or garden views. Preferred club categories throw in extras like private lounges, upgraded toiletries, and dedicated concierge service for guests who want that extra layer of polish. Families appreciate the connecting room options, while honeymooners tend to gravitate toward the swim-out suites with direct access to a shared pool. Dining is a big selling point here, with multiple sit-down restaurants covering Mexican, Italian, Asian, and seafood themes, plus a buffet that handles the busier meal rushes. Reservations are not required at any of them, which sounds small but saves guests real headaches over the course of a week. The pool complex sprawls across the property in a series of connected sections, so guests can find their own vibe, whether that means a splash zone with the kids or a quiet corner with a book. The beach itself is calm and swimmable, which is not always guaranteed on Costa Rica's Pacific coast, and that makes a huge difference for families with younger swimmers. There is a spa tucked away for massages and body treatments, a fitness center for the disciplined few, and daily activities ranging from beach volleyball to dance lessons. The Explorers Club keeps kids happily occupied while a separate teen program gives older kids a place to hang out on their own terms. Evenings bring live music, themed shows, and enough after-dinner energy to make guests forget they were dead tired an hour earlier. The next stop shifts the tone considerably, heading over to the Secrets Papagayo Resort on the stunning Gulf of Papagayo. This one is strictly adults only, and it wears that identity proudly. The design is sleek and modern, with polished stonework, dark woods, and infinity pools that seem to hover over the coastline. It is the kind of place that attracts couples, small groups of friends, and travelers who genuinely want to hear something other than splashing children during their vacation. The atmosphere is romantic but not overly quiet, striking a balance that suits both honeymooners and repeat visitors who come back for the reliability. The rooms lean into a moody, upscale look with rich fabrics, oversized soaking tubs, and terraces designed for long sunset moments. Ocean view categories are the obvious upgrade, and preferred club perks include private check-in, a dedicated lounge, and access to a separate stretch of beach. The dining spread is generous, with several sit-down restaurants covering everything from grilled steak to sushi to Mediterranean plates, plus a couple of casual spots for lighter days. Bars are scattered throughout the property, and the swim-up bar overlooking the Gulf is a natural gathering spot in the late afternoon. Because it is all-inclusive at a premium tier, top-shelf drinks are included, which regular guests never fail to mention in their reviews. The pools here are a highlight, with an infinity edge design that photographs beautifully and enough loungers to keep even peak season crowds comfortable. The beach is small and rocky in places, but the resort offers water sports, snorkeling right off the shore, and easy boat trips out into the Gulf. The spa is a real strength, offering hydrotherapy circuits along with the usual massage and facial menus. Activities range from tequila tastings to catamaran cruises, and evenings often include live music or themed parties by the pool. For couples who want a resort where the vibe stays grown-up from breakfast until last call, Secrets Papagayo is one of the strongest picks in the country. From adults-only sophistication, the tour rolls into the massive Riu Guanacaste, a resort that leans unapologetically into the big, buffet-driven, sun-soaked side of the all-inclusive world. Sitting right on Playa Matapalo, it is a favorite among travelers who want maximum value and a lively social scene without overthinking things. The architecture is grand and slightly theatrical, with sweeping staircases, marble accents, and a lobby that feels more like a Vegas resort than a Costa Rican ecolodge. The crowd skews international and multi-generational, with families, groups of friends, and older couples all mixing comfortably. It is not going to win awards for subtle design, but it delivers exactly what most guests came for. Rooms at the Riu are practical and comfortable rather than flashy, with balconies, mini bars stocked daily, and enough space to spread out after a long day at the pool. Family rooms and connecting options are widely available, which explains why the property is such a magnet for larger groups. Dining includes a huge main buffet along with several themed restaurants covering steakhouse, Asian, and Italian menus, and there is a poolside grill for lazy lunches. Drinks flow generously at multiple bars, and the sports bar becomes a hub during big matches. Nobody comes here expecting quiet fine dining, but nobody leaves hungry either. The pool area is a scene, with a long, free-form design, plenty of loungers, and organized activities that keep the energy up throughout the day. The beach is a short walk away and offers strong surf that makes it more of a boogie boarding destination than a swimming one. There is a spa on site for those who want a break from the sun, along with a fitness center, sauna, and steam room. Evening entertainment leans big and colorful with themed shows, live music, and a disco on the property that runs late for anyone still standing. Kids have a dedicated club with pool games and activities so parents can grab a rare afternoon to themselves. The Riu Guanacaste is the pick for travelers who value energy, value, and a resort that never quite goes to sleep. The next property, the Planet Hollywood Costa Rica, sits nearby and takes a very different angle on the all-inclusive concept. It is themed around Hollywood memorabilia and movie culture, but the execution is more tasteful than the name might suggest. The The resort spreads across a hillside overlooking Papagayo Bay, and the terraced design gives most rooms and public spaces sweeping ocean views. It draws a mix of families, couples, and groups of friends who like the playful concept but still want a modern, high-quality experience. Prop displays and framed photos add character to the public areas without overwhelming them. The rooms are contemporary and comfortable with smart tech touches like tablet controls, walk-in rain showers, and balconies that open toward the bay. Suite categories add extras like plunge pools and larger living spaces, and the Star-class tier throws in a butler and preferred reservations. Dining runs across several themed restaurants covering everything from Pan-Asian dishes to modern American comfort food, plus a sushi spot and beachside seafood. The main buffet handles breakfast crowds well, and the poolside bars serve solid cocktails that go beyond the usual all-inclusive lineup. Guests tend to praise the food quality more than at most large resorts in this price bracket. The pools cascade down the hillside in a series of connected levels, each with its own vibe, from lively music-filled sections to quieter adults-only zones. Beach access requires a short shuttle down the hill, but the pool scene is strong enough that many guests never make the trip. The spa is stylish and modern, offering couples treatments, hydrotherapy, and a full menu of massages. Activities include tennis, water sports, and a kids club that plays into the movie theme with fun creative projects. Nightlife tends to run later here than at most family-oriented resorts, giving it a fun crossover appeal for younger adult travelers. Shifting away from the beach for a moment, the tour heads inland to the Tabacon Thermal Resort and Spa near the base of the famous Arenal Volcano. This property is not a traditional beach all-inclusive, but its optional all-inclusive package covering meals, drinks, and thermal access makes it worth including for anyone who wants a wildly different Costa Rican experience. The resort is built around a series of natural hot springs that flow through lush rainforest gardens, and it feels a bit like walking into a nature documentary. Guests here tend to be adventure travelers, nature lovers, and couples looking for something more romantic and off the grid than a busy beach scene. Toucans, hummingbirds, and the occasional sloth pass through the property, and it never quite loses that magical feeling. Rooms are elegant and understated, with private balconies overlooking either the gardens or, on the best clear nights, the volcano itself. Higher categories add features like private jacuzzis and larger terraces, and everything is designed to blend into the rainforest rather than compete with it. Dining is smaller in scale than a mega-resort but higher in quality, with a signature restaurant featuring farm-to-table Costa Rican cuisine and another focusing on grilled specialties. Cocktails often use local ingredients like Garo-based spirits and tropical fruits, and the atmosphere at dinner is candlelit and quiet. The hot springs are the heart of the experience, with pools of varying temperatures scattered through the gardens, including a warm waterfall that guests can stand under for a natural shoulder massage. The spa builds on that with treatments that use volcanic mud and thermal water, and it consistently ranks among the top wellness experiences in the country. Activities include volcano hikes, waterfall visits, hanging bridges walks, and horseback riding through the surrounding countryside. Kids are allowed at the resort, but the tone is decidedly more grown-up, and there is an adults-only section of the thermal springs for guests who want a more romantic soak. It is the pick for travelers who want their all-inclusive to double as a nature adventure. Back on the coast, the tour swings by the Barcelo Tambor, a long-running all-inclusive on the Nicoya Peninsula that has been welcoming guests for decades. Set on a wide sandy bay with calm water, it caters to families and couples who want a laid-back vacation without the polish or price tag of the newer Guanacaste giants. The architecture is warm and slightly dated in places, but the tropical grounds are lush and the pace is unhurried. Guests here tend to be repeat visitors and travelers who prioritize value, straightforward comfort, and a stunning natural setting. The property enjoys a quieter, more remote feel compared to the busier northern Guanacaste zone. Rooms are simple, comfortable, and functional, with balconies or terraces and views that range from garden to ocean. Dining includes a main buffet along with a couple of specialty spots for a change of pace, and drinks flow freely from multiple bars. Pools are set among the palm trees, and the beach is one of the property's biggest assets, with calm swimming conditions and sunsets that seem custom-designed for photos. Activities include kayaking, catamaran trips, and horseback riding along the shoreline. It is a solid pick for guests who want a real Costa Rican beach without the resort feeling like a factory. The final property on the tour is the Andaz Costa Rica resort at Peninsula Papagayo, and while it is not fully all-inclusive in the traditional sense, it offers all-inclusive packages that bring meals, drinks, and select experiences into the room rate. The design is one of the most striking in the country, with organic curves, natural woods, and stonework that channels the surrounding forest. It attracts a design-conscious crowd of luxury travelers, honeymooners, and families who want a boutique feel with resort-scale amenities. The property sits on a private stretch of coast within the exclusive Peninsula Papagayo development, giving it access to some of the most beautiful bays in the country. The vibe is upscale but genuinely warm rather than stiff. Rooms are contemporary and airy, with local artwork, oversized bathrooms, and balconies designed for real lounging. Suites add private plunge pools and expanded living space, and the highest tiers push into full villa territory. Dining is a strong point, with several restaurants ranging from elevated Costa Rican cuisine to seafood and a beachside grill, and cocktails lean creative with plenty of local flavor. There are multiple pools, including an adults-only option and 3 separate beaches within walking or shuttle distance. The spa is one of the best in the country, offering treatments influenced by indigenous traditions along with a full hydrotherapy circuit. Activities are where the Andaz really shines, with access to golf, tennis, sailing, hiking, and cultural experiences arranged through the resort's excellent concierge team. Kids get a nature-focused club that leans into the rainforest setting rather than plastic playrooms, which parents genuinely appreciate. Event and small conference facilities are available for the destination weddings and corporate retreats that flow through the property year-round. For travelers willing to spend more for a resort that feels genuinely special, the Andaz is one of the best options in Central America. Comparing the 8, couples looking for adults-only romance will do best at Secrets Papagayo, while those wanting a nature-driven retreat should look hard at Tabacon. Families with kids of any age will feel right at home at Dreams Las Mareas, the Westin Reserva Conchal, or the Barcelo Tambor for its more relaxed budget vibe. Travelers chasing energy and value tend to gravitate toward the Riu Guanacaste, and the fun crossover appeal of Planet Hollywood works well for multi-generational groups who want a bit of everything. For luxury seekers who want design, service, and setting all firing at once, the Andaz Costa Rica sits comfortably at the top of the list. Whichever direction the trip takes, Costa Rica has quietly built one of the strongest all-inclusive scenes in the Americas, and any of these resorts can turn a week off into the kind of vacation that gets talked about for years. Safe travels, enjoy the Pura Vida, and here is to finding the perfect spot for the next escape. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more travel content. Check the description for links and booking information for all hotels featured in this video. If none of these felt quite right, check out our other hotel top lists to find your perfect match.